Thank you, Christopher. The Ozarks Technical Community College Distinguished Alumni Award is presented to recognize and honor a member of our alumni for their accomplishments and professional success. This year's recipient, Ryan Nichols, has been chosen for this award because of his contributions to the community through his position as director of the Springfield-Greene County Office of Emergency Management. Ryan's office is responsible for coordination of disaster planning and preparedness for all of Springfield and unincorporated Greene County, public disaster readiness and awareness programs, disaster training programs for first responders, severe weather monitoring, coordination of the Greene County Homeland Security Response Team, and much, much more. Additionally, Ryan is currently serving as a member of the State Emergency Management Agency Directors Advisory Committee, Vice Chair of the local community organizations active in disasters, and helps to lead regional disaster planning and response organizations. Ryan, a Willard resident, received his GED at Ozarks Technical Community College and then spent 3 semesters working toward his degree. Since then, he has completed a Bachelor of Nursing degree at Missouri State University and a master's degree in fire and emergency management at Oklahoma State University. He has also earned certified emergency manager credentials from the International Association of Emergency Management. Would you join me in congratulating our second Distinguished Alumni Award recipient, Ryan Nichols?
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. You don't have to worry. They always say I talk fast, and they always tell me don't change. So we'll make this as painless as possible. I know you're here not to hear from me, but you're here to receive an honor. But I just want to leave you with one quick thought as you take this honor home. As he just mentioned in the previous speech, you're closing a chapter in your life. My goal or my challenge is don't close the book of education in your life right now. When I went to OTC a few years ago, I learned a few valuable principles. I can't tell you exactly what I passed on the test, but I know exactly how I learned from the teachers that I learned from. I learned how to learn. I learned how to apply. I learned how to think. If you remember years ago, OTC was over at Northtown Mall. I took classes of interpersonal communication where I learned how to come out of my shell. I learned American history where he brought the Revolutionary War and everything to life. I learned economics about supply and demand and all the complications. I learned how to write. I learned chemistry and complex things. I still don't know what they were on the test, but he taught me how to think about it. All these things have really taught me to do something that I want to pursue in life. One of those things I wanted to pursue was emergency management, and I pursued it through a higher education. But OTC, from those small different facilities, has come together as the campus you see represent who they are. A college is not determined by its historical name. It's not determined by the size of its campus or its sports history, even though that's pretty important in some arenas. But it's determined by 2 things, one formula, the teacher and the student. It's our job to either make that a plus or a minus sign. It's that simple. From the instructors that I learned in interpersonal communications, I've learned how to coordinate with folks under stressful situations. We manage a lot of grants and a lot of funds that come through economics and math. We plan mitigation, we plan preparedness, we do hazard analysis, we do response recovery plans. All that stuff comes together, and it's not from what I passed on the test, but it's the process to get to it. It's not what's on the paper, even though that's important, but what we say in emergency management on planning, it's not the paper product that's important, it's the process that got you there. I'll leave you with this quote from Thomas Jefferson. Quote, "If you want to know who you are, don't ask, act. Action will delineate and define who you are." Thank you, Dr. Higdon, for this award. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you for letting me be part of your night. Appreciate it very much.
We have a unique honor this year. For the first time in the history of Ozarks Technical Community College, we have the governor as our commencement speaker. I think that tells us a lot of things, but it also tells us something very important. Ozarks Technical Community College is a big deal. Anyone who thinks it's not a big deal, look around. Over 500 graduates, thousands of family and friends, and the governor of our state is with us. I want to tell you a couple of things about this governor. Students, you haven't had an increase in tuition in 3 years. If you get a chance, you need to thank the man sitting behind me here, because Governor Nixon, through his office, let's give him a hand for that. While other states during this economic downturn were dramatically cutting higher ed budgets, Missouri held firm. We either had no decrease or very small decreases, and in return for that, the governor challenged higher education not to raise tuition, 4-year and 2-year, all publics. Higher education met that goal, and your tuition didn't go up the last 2 years. And I think that is a tremendous thing that's happening in a nation where we may be the only state in the nation that the tuition for our students in our community colleges and our public universities didn't go up. So I think that's a tremendous thing. I think we owe a vote of thanks to our governor. He is the community college governor. In the last little over 2 years, he's been on our campuses 5 times. In fact, we're going to send him a tuition bill next year. And he may get some grades too, and they'll be an A. Governor Nixon has been a consistent supporter of higher education in Ozarks Technical Community College. Since his election in 2008, Governor Nixon has worked to pass legislation that provides for the education of healthcare workers and enhanced programs that provide scholarships for high school students, the A+ program. Additionally, he has worked with higher education leaders and the legislature to stabilize the state's funding for Missouri's colleges and universities. It is my pleasure to welcome the 55th governor of the state of Missouri, Governor Jay Nixon.
Thank you and good evening. Thank you, Dr. Higdon, President Fisk, Dr. Lawler, trustees, distinguished faculty and staff, honored guests, alumni, families, but most important, students. I'm delighted to be here on this very important day and be among the first to say congratulations to these great graduates. All of your hard work and long hours have paid off and brought you to this point, standing at the threshold of a new journey. Since 1991, thousands of OTC students have gone on to serve their communities and throughout our state with the highest distinction. You are about to become part of that proud tradition. Graduates, I want to also extend my congratulations to all your families and friends whose love, support, and sacrifice were essential in helping to get you here today. Your diplomas represent the fulfillment of their dreams and their effort, as well as your own. If you're the first person in your family to go to college, I know this day is even more momentous. You can't repay all they've invested in you, but I urge you to try. Honor them by using your education to do great things in your careers, contribute to your communities, and make a difference in our world. Let me also congratulate the administration, faculty, and staff on the extraordinary growth of OTC and the breadth and quality of the degree and certification programs now offered here. OTC is a great Missouri success story. You bet it is, yeah. Yes. This school got out of the blocks fast in 1991, with nearly 2,000 students enrolled that first fall semester. Then, as now, your mission was clear: to provide accessible, affordable, high-quality training and educational opportunities to the people of the Show Me State. The numbers speak for themselves. Enrollment last fall, nearly 14,000 students from all walks of life with career goals as disparate as early childhood education and aerospace engineering. As enrollment has soared, OTC has grown from 1 campus to 6, with robust online programs, a new campus center opening soon in Lebanon, and yet another slated to open in Hollister in 2013. There's a reason for that, of course, and that can be summed up in 2 words: adaptation and agility. OTC's leadership has been agile in responding to the challenges of today's job market, quickly adapting to meet the needs of local employers for highly skilled, well-trained workforce. OTC has made strategic use of Training for Tomorrow and Caring for Missourians state funding to design and reboot programs to quickly get more Missourians back into the workforce in high-tech, high-demand fields from advanced manufacturing to healthcare. OTC has prepared tens of thousands of Missourians of all ages and backgrounds for first, second, even third careers as teachers and accountants, chefs and paramedics, occupational therapists and auto mechanics, lab techs and welders. And OTC has prepared thousands more students, including hundreds of A+ scholarship winners in the audience this evening, who will be continuing their education at 4-year colleges and universities across this region and across our country, which is a long way of going about saying, on behalf of the Show Me State, congratulations, OTC, on a job well done. Now, graduates, this ceremony marks the completion of one important phase of your education, but the beginning of another. It is a celebration of all that you have achieved since the first day you set foot on this campus. You leave OTC with more facts and figures packed into your heads than many of you may have thought possible, about subjects as different as poetry and physical therapy, taxes and teeth. Your education at OTC has expanded not only the boundaries of what you know, but your capacity to learn. That capacity is infinite in all directions and continues throughout your lifetime. Quite simply, never stop learning. You also take with you lessons learned at OTC about the value of friendship, teamwork, service to others, and leadership. Long after your recall of all those facts and figures has blurred in the mists of time, those life lessons will endure. Perhaps most importantly, your education at OTC has honed your ability to think critically and independently, so that you, as you continue your journey through life, no matter what path you take, you will be able to sift through the conflicting facts and confounding opinions and sort the truth from the nonsense, the message from the static, the music from the noise. In our contentious society, the importance of critical thinking cannot be overstated. It's important to remember that of all the truly difficult questions in our world, there are always at least 2 sides. Each side has merit, and each side is supported by good men and women who are genuinely convinced that they are right. That is why justice is best symbolized by a pair of scales, not a light switch, and that the subtle shade of truth almost always lies somewhere between the bright light of noon and the pitch black of midnight. But if you listen to what passes for public discourse these days, you will quickly see that many in our society, and far too many in public life, don't appear to have the capacity to appreciate the other side of an argument. Go online, turn on the TV or the radio, scroll through the comments at the bottom of a news story. Far too much of what passes for commentary is mean-spirited and unencumbered by the facts. The culture of sound bites is antithetical to informed, rational dialogue and debate. More than any other single factor, the breakdown in civility in public life today has contributed to the deep cynicism that exists about our democratic institutions. Our press, our courts, our government, even our colleges and universities have become the targets of partisan extremists and gotcha journalism. Yes, our First Amendment protects free speech, even speech we really dislike. But when those on one side of an issue brand those on the other side as liars, cheats, unpatriotic, or even traitors, that is toxic to our democracy. Our nation cannot make progress that way. If we allow the tone and the substance of public discourse to continue to degrade, it will damage our ability to create informed, engaged citizens. It will cripple our ability to apply complex, nuanced thinking to the complex, nuanced problems that face mankind. And there's a big world out there that needs fixing. We need more educated problem solvers like you, who bring facts to the table, who want to solve the problems, and who can think critically and independently. Use your education to bring light, not heat, to public discourse. These skills will serve you and the rest of us as you step into your role as global citizens. The future that you graduates will be creating from this moment forward will be defined not only by how well we can compete in a global economy, but how well we can collaborate to accomplish shared goals and tackle shared challenges. Without a doubt, the world of nations today are more interdependent now than at any time in human history. We live in a world where the boundaries of time, distance, and culture are collapsing to the touch of a finger. Technology allows us to bear witness to the triumphs and tragedies of the human condition in real time, from tsunamis to revolutions to the death of public enemy number one, Osama bin Laden. What happens on one side of the planet, whether it's an economic boom or a nuclear meltdown, affects people on the other side. We're all in this together, and there are a whole lot of us. By the end of this year, the world's population is expected to reach 7 billion. By the end of the century, it's projected to be close to 10 billion. That means there will be greater competition for everything: land, food, water, fuel. And that means there will be a greater need for cooperation. The stakes and the opportunities have never been greater. Protecting biodiversity, mitigating the effects of climate change, fighting global terrorism, developing sources of clean energy, creating stable, sustainable economies, feeding a hungry world, curing disease. We will create new opportunities and solve mankind's most pressing problems as allies who can think critically and who can communicate and collaborate. In our rapidly changing world, education is a high-stakes enterprise. There is no investment that will have a greater impact on the future of this nation, this state, and on the quality of life for each of you, your children and your grandchildren, than the one you have made in your education. Use it well to build a strong family, a vibrant and prosperous state. Use it well to build a bright future for our nation and peaceful, stable world. Working together, the best days of our state, country, and world lie ahead. Congratulations, and God bless.